Broadcasting live from the Business RadioX studios in Atlanta, Georgia, it's time for Workplace Wisdom. Sharing insight, perspective, and best practices for creating the planet's best workplaces. Now, here's your host.
Welcome to another exciting and informative edition of Workplace Wisdom. Stone Payton here with you this morning, and you guys are in for a real treat. Please join me in welcoming to the broadcast with Powerhouse Hypnosis, Miss Stacy Santiago. How are you?
Doing well. Thank you, Stone. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, this conversation has been such a long time in the making. I've been so excited about visiting with you. I have a ton of questions. In fact, we may have to have you come back to complete my entire line of inquiry, but I'm really excited to have the conversation and bring your work to our listeners. Perhaps a good place to start, though. Can you give us just a primer, a little overview, mission, purpose? Well, what are you really out there trying to do for folks?
Yeah, sure. That's a great question. So just to get perspective, I'm a certified hypnotherapist, as well as a board certified coach and licensed professional counselor. And what I really love to do is help entrepreneurs, especially, quickly and effortlessly dissolve barriers at the subconscious level. So they're able to just break free and skyrocket their income, fulfillment, and impact to a level that just really leaves others speechless. That's what I'm about doing.
Well, I got to tell you, I resemble that remark. I've been an entrepreneur virtually all of my life, and I've certainly struggled. I've been very blessed, and I've had a few wins. I'm sure you see some patterns. Are there some things that you see over and over that you see more and more entrepreneurs struggle with?
Yeah, absolutely. And what it comes down to, hands down, is mindset. I mean, you may have heard it said that success is 80% mindset and 20% mechanics. And it's so true. We all have limiting beliefs. And the more you grow your business, the more you're going to feel the effects of these perceived limits. For example, so many entrepreneurs struggle with self-doubt, imposter syndrome, fear of failure or fear of success, or even secretly feeling like they're unworthy of earning a lot of money. And this all comes from old hardwired programming in the subconscious. And most of the time, it comes down to one of these root beliefs. I'm not good enough, I'm not deserving or worthy, or I'm not accepted or loved. And what I've found is that unless you neutralize and you release these negative beliefs in the subconscious, then they're always going to create limits and suffering in your life.
So I got to tell you, I feel like I am actually in the session because, I mean, these are things that I've struggled with personally. And I think, or at least I feel like I'm pretty good at recognizing when I'm struggling or when I feel like I'm struggling. But I don't necessarily know what to do about it. I think my go-to move is work harder, read more. But I don't have like, oh, this is happening, so now this is what I do to get self-corrected. I bet you see entrepreneurs trying to, just because of their nature, they try to fix this on their own, right?
Oh yeah, I was doing that too. I was executing and hustling like a pro, but I faced so many limits and struggles in my own journey as an entrepreneur that I couldn't break free from on my own. And I see that over and over with people as they try and put their head down, do it alone, and just overcome it with hustling. They think, well, if I just work harder and I push, I'll achieve, I'll be successful, and I'll be happy. But if you've ever tried this before, and yes, that was me, been there, done that, then you know that happy is not the outcome that you get. And another struggle that I see where people go with this is it's easy to slip into operating with a victim mentality. And that means you believe in an objective reality that you largely have no control over. And what's not working for you might be because of someone else, or someone has something you don't. And so there's kind of some blame, some complaining going on there, and no judgment if listeners, that's where you are, but there is a victor inside of you that's screaming to be let out.
So let's talk about that, your backstory a little bit. How does one find themselves in this line of work? Tell us a little bit about your journey.
Yeah. So for me, being an entrepreneur, I took the journey starting out. So I can do this on my own. I can do it. And I chose a few different models of business, a lot of trial and error. And it all came to this point where I tried to launch something that didn't work. And it was kind of funny because I had about 2 people enroll in what my offer was. And I was so disappointed. I actually gave them their money back. It was just so frustrating for me. And I've always been seeking, well, how do I break free and what do I do? And I've worked personally with 5 different coaches on my own, 5 different programs and angles. And then I also saw that with the people that I've been working with for over a decade and helping them find their ideal path and grow their business. It's just so clear that there are deep issues and inner struggles that cannot be fully resolved with conscious thought. And so, having tried many things and been seeking for a long time, I finally found that best solution, hypnotherapy. And now I've combined that hypnotherapy, mindset, and coaching all into this one superpower formula that sets people free to have and feel what they truly desire in their business and life.
Well, and I do want to be careful to make the distinction, because I get the distinct sense that you're not dismissing other methods of introspection and growth and information gathering and inspiration. I sense that you're saying, don't let me put words in your mouth, that there's still a place for the self-help book, the education, the focus and setting strategy and all that. I get the idea that you feel like there's this whole other untapped resource that is, if we can take that and use it to complement all that, then you're really on steroids, if you were.
Right, exactly. It comes down to knowing what the real problem is, because for some people it might be knowledge, and knowledge can be very helpful. But if you have a root struggle, like I'm not good enough, this plaguing self-doubt, this need to please people, this feeling unworthy or undeserving, that's not something that's going to be fixed through business tactics or self-help books. It's kind of like wanting to see your 100-piece puzzle finally put together, but all you're doing is grasping at one random piece at a time. So when you have these root problems, it's not a matter of knowing something. It's a matter of being stuck in this toxic pattern of subconscious thought. Does that make sense?
Well, it does, and I realize it would be completely inappropriate to name names, but I'm wondering if you could help bring an example to life where maybe you're working with a client, and maybe they've got this imposter syndrome, but they come to you thinking that the problem is X, and then you help them identify the root cause is Y. Is there an example where someone came to you and they felt like the problem was something more superficial, and then you helped them identify something they had not even entertained?
Oh, sure. Yes, all the time. So I have this client who has a really wonderful business offer. She's super bright, hardworking, and she's struggling with the revenue that she wants to earn. And so that can be a very common experience, right? That's what's top of mind, is maybe I'm not breaking through to that next level of revenue that I want. So it must be maybe this money issue that I have. I can't figure out why. What am I not doing right? But in looking underneath the surface, and with this client in particular, she has this belief that she is not going to be accepted, that she is going to put herself out there. And when she does, she'll be rejected and she'll be left alone with nothing. So you see that even though she really does want to amp up this revenue and she wants to get this offer out there and getting so much more momentum with it, it's not a matter of tactics. She's already spelled out, she's mapped out, we've reviewed funnels, we've looked at all of that, but it's not going to matter what she executes on, because what's underneath that, as long as she believes and she doesn't shift out of, well, I'm going to be rejected and I'm going to be left alone with nothing. It's just not going to matter what she does. She has to go to that place. And it's so interesting because in working together, I mean, she didn't know that on the front end of this. She didn't know that that's what really needed to be worked on. It comes out only as we do this work with mindset and hypnotherapy, because in the subconscious and the heart, it knows where to go.
Okay, so let's talk about hypnotherapy a little bit. I almost characterized it as the elephant in the room. I think it's the elephant in my room. I don't think it's an elephant in your room. I got to believe that you must meet with some level of skepticism when you're maybe in your sales and marketing process, or in the early part of your counseling, your consulting work. Do you run into some skepticism? If so, how do you deal with it? What really is hypnotherapy? Let's take the veil off of this thing and really help people understand what this is, can be, and can do for them.
Oh, sure. Yes. This is not something that, while it's becoming more mainstream, it's not something as common as traditional talk therapy. And often what's portrayed about it is not an accurate representation of what hypnotherapy actually is. And so in hypnosis, what it is, it's a powerful state of focus. And as a hypnotherapist, I help your critical mind relax and move to the side so we can access that which you want to change and feel differently about. So when your mind shifts to a lower brainwave pattern called theta state, which is similar to dreaming, then the mind can find what caused the hardwired beliefs that are not serving you. And it's in this relaxed state that the mind can release and can accept new programming that frees you to feel and create what you actually do want. And what's cool is that all hypnosis is just self-hypnosis. You're completely in control. You're very much aware. It's very effortless. It's very relaxing. You know, you may have experienced a little bit of a hypnotic state, like when you're driving. And if you've ever driven somewhere and you're like, well, how did I get there? I don't remember those traffic lights. That's a light hypnotic state. And your subconscious was actually driving for you.
Well, and I wonder if that's, and you tell me, is that a little bit of what happens? Is that similar to the dynamic that an athlete or a top performing person in any arena finds themselves in when they say they've got the flow, or they're in the zone, or is it touching on that same dynamic?
Yeah. So there's different levels, and the closest that one could come on their own would be perhaps a longer in-depth meditation, where they're very much visualizing and focusing on that. But even still, that's in the conscious realm. Okay. And where hypnotherapy comes into play, it's finally getting behind the veil. It's finally moving aside the analytical mind to where what comes up for you and what you're accessing, you have no idea until you're in it. And your mind just does the work for you. Your analytical mind is not there dictating anymore. It's not overthinking. It's literally kind of just taking a nap on the side. And then your subconscious mind does the work for you. And you can only access it in that deep state when you have an expert that's helping facilitate that for you.
So I'm probably going to use the wrong words here, because I'm from a traditional trainer, speaker, consultancy kind of background before I got into this line of work. But the question I would typically frame is, what does an engagement with you look like? Speak a little bit to the process. Someone listens to this either here live this morning, or maybe they listen to it 6 months from now and they reach out. Is there like this initial consultation, and if you don't mind, kind of lay out what the workflow or engagement pattern? I know I'm using the wrong words, but
yeah, it's like, well, what do we do in this? Yeah, and so I offer a couple of different options. Sometimes a client might want to do just in-depth hypnotherapy. There's a lot going on. And so we might want to do, let's say, 5 sessions to unwind some of those deep limiting beliefs like not enough, and then as well do some abundance work. So we could take that approach and do in-depth hypnotherapy sessions. There's also the Powerhouse program, which I've specifically designed based on what I absolutely know works for people on both the subconscious and the conscious level. So with that type of program, what we're doing the hypnotherapy sessions, but we're also learning what we can do on the conscious level to release, to manage triggers. So for example, I want you to be in a place where no matter what happens in your day, you're in the driver's seat because you know how to reframe. You know how to make a meaning that serves you. You know how to handle emotion. You know how to see, feel, and visualize in a way that manifests 10 times faster for yourself. So I want to give you those tools to do it on a daily basis, and then also have the coaching support, because I'll see things you can't, and I'll help give you that feedback, connect the dots, and help you get the feedback you need. So all of this happens so quickly for you. And it's almost like a night and day in a matter of just a few weeks.
Okay. So I'm sensing there's genuine, the word we would have used in the consulting world is capability transfer. If I'm working with you for a handful of sessions or through a specific sequence, I'm gonna take away from that the ability to do some of this on my own. Yes.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So we're taking care of the subconscious. What we do in hypnotherapy and release there is a permanent release, because now it's changed. The hardwired programming has changed. So that becomes part of that permanent solution that operates for you, because your subconscious is now doing that work. But then also, you're still going to be triggered in life. The objective is to never feel negative emotion or to never be triggered. It's to manage that and to move through it according to your own choosing. And so you'll want these tools to do what I call live above the line of suffering, so that life isn't just okay, going through the motions. It's not just tolerating the drudgery. No, you live above the line of suffering. And you know how to do that because you have the greatest tools out there it's just a super ninja power that you have, and it changes everything. And it ripples out. I want this to ripple out too, not just to you and your business, but to your family, to people in your community. This has a ripple effect that's just profound.
I bet it. I mean, this must be incredibly rewarding work.
Yes, it is. It's truly wonderful. And when you have people say to you, what you've done has literally saved my life. I mean, I'm going to get up every day and I'm going to take a stand for you, because you deserve to have more. You deserve to thrive. You deserve to have the impact you want to have in your business and your life. There is a better way. And a lot of people, they wake up and it's tough. It's tough to get out of bed. It's tough to wonder what your purpose is and if you're really enough. And I want you to be able to wake up energized, knowing that you are creating everything you want. You're the one generating the emotion you want to feel. You know that you're accepted, you're worthy. You know it to the point where you can see those positive effects manifesting in your business, in your relationships.
So, and I ask almost all of my guests this because I have kind of a sales and marketing lens that I have a tendency to look at a lot of things through. How does the whole sales and marketing thing work for a practice like yours? Is it something where you go out and kind of beat the bushes, or is it more kind of word of mouth, or how does that, or is it education, or?
Yeah, for me, it's through personal connection. So what I like to do is to connect with people in different forums, whether that's online, it could be Facebook, it could be in a professional group, it could be through my extended network, and understand where people are. Because most people, especially entrepreneurs, are not saying, I'm super fulfilled. I've got all the abundance I want. I have the complete success and impact. I've just totally reached it and I'm great. Most of the time, that's not the case. And so I want to listen. I want to understand where you are. And if I can add value, if I can help you, whether that's with what I have to offer or whether that's with somebody else that I know of who would be better to fill in the gap, that's what I want to do. is I want to make sure that you're on the best path for what you need. And so that's it. It's just connecting and listening and then giving my honest assessment of what I would recommend so that you can have what you most want.
I got to confess, this is such a timely conversation for me. I am going to be on the other side of the microphone later this afternoon. I'm going to be a guest on a show. And I've been so blessed, and this thing of ours has really helped, our clients build relationships and grow their business. And there's a piece of me that I think it's probably deep down. I try to keep it pushed out, and maybe I need to let it out instead. That feels like, man, I guess it's a little bit of that imposter thing, or like I'm going to get found out. I'm not that bright. I didn't really invent all this. I just was, kind of here at the right time and found a way to help people grow their business by using this platform to build relationships. But I'm going to be on the other side of the microphone later this afternoon, and there's this little piece of me that hopes nobody discovers hey, I'm not all that bright. We're just doing this thing and it's working.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Does that sound familiar?
Yeah. And I think what I know has made the difference for me and why I'm so confident in what I do, aside from the results and having just so many clients over and over again say what a difference this has been. For me, it's completely heart driven. Like my priority is not the money. It is not the success. It's the heart, and it's taking a stand for people, and it's truly helping them reach that level of happiness and love in their life that they have always wanted for themselves and their family. And when you come from the heart and you actually care about people, that's a power that's stronger than anything.
So is this work that can be executed or partially executed virtually?
Yes, it completely is. I have clients from all over the country. So everything's delivered virtually through different modalities. So there's one-on-one with me via Zoom. There's coaching via Zoom that's live. And then there's also modules as well. So I can deliver tons and tons of value at your own pace and that you can always have access to. So yes, it's super easy. It's super comfortable. Even the hypnotherapy can be done virtually via Zoom.
So I'm kind of a one-trick pony, and I have a tendency to see everything through the Business RadioX lens, but I think you ought to be on this side of the mic. And I don't know how that would work exactly. I mean, you could always use it to build relationships, but I'm talking about like in executing your work. I don't know. And of course, I go back to the more traditional sources of providing support. The book and the radio show and the talk. But wow, this has been a very interesting conversation. Before we wrap, let's make sure that our listeners know how to reach out if they'd like to have a conversation with you or someone on your team, or if they'd like to just learn more about this topic in general. Let's leave them with some points of contact.
Yes. So the easiest thing would be to go to powerhousehypnosis.com. And you can read much more about it there. And if you're wanting to schedule a free breakthrough call with me, there's a blue button in the top right corner of that homepage. There are blue buttons throughout the homepage and the About Me page. And you can easily just click on that, and Calendly will pop up and you'll see my availability, and you'll just click on whatever time works best for you. And then we'll be set to connect via Zoom. And we'll have about a 45-minute call where I'll understand what's going on for you and listen to see how I can add value. And then we'll take it from there. It's super easy and super fun. And no matter what, just even from that one call, that's why I call it a breakthrough call, is you'll have so much more clarity, so much more just relief. You'll feel good that someone out there gets it, and you'll know what next steps are best for you.
Well, Stacy Santiago with Powerhouse Hypnosis, it has been an absolute delight having you on the show. Thank you so much for visiting with us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Stone. Just such a joy to share this. I'm so passionate about it because I know what it can do for people. And I want to spread that word. So there's hope and there's help out there. You're not alone. And so thank you for allowing me to share.
All right, this is Stone Payton for our guest this morning, Stacy Santiago with Powerhouse Hypnosis, and everyone here at the Business RadioX family saying we'll see you next time on Workplace Wisdom.